What is happening, y'all? I've been waiting a while to do this video because I finally started buying real fake Benchmade knives. I had a problem with the expensive knives for quite some time, and I have to admit that I still do have a problem with them because it's ridiculous that any pocket knife should cost hundreds of dollars. Unless the shit's made out of gold or something. But anyhow, I started buying. I fell in love with the fake ones so much that I started buying the real ones. And these on the red thing here, on the red cloth, those are all real ones, and those are all fakes. And I'm just gonna pretty much kind of quickly show the real ones, and then just kind of do some comparisons with some of the fakes and the real ones. And then I also have a surprise. So let's get into it. Alright, well, so the surprise is I was not expecting this. I was not planning on this. After I lost Jackie, that was August 30th of this year of 2024. And as far as I was concerned, I didn't know if I'd ever even get another dog again. And if I did, it was going to have to be fucking years, because the thought of having another dog quickly just tore me apart, because I didn't want to feel like I was replacing Jackie. Well, as it turns out, I have found that when believing in God and following God and His plan for your life, He doesn't always ask you before He just starts doing things in your life. And He kind of likes to throw curveballs at you sometimes. So one night I was heading home from my mom's. It was a Friday night, and I was planning on just running by her house, dropping something off I picked up for her at the store, and then taking off. As it stood, I ended up sticking around for an hour, then 2 hours. And all in all, and I think I ended up being like 3 hours or more. And I literally had planned to just go stop there and then leave. So anyhow, as I'm heading home, I went to stop at a pet food store for Daisy, because I needed something for her and didn't really want to stop anywhere else. And so as I turned into like the main parking lot of the whole complex, what should go walking out into traffic in front of us? A few cars up, a little dog, a little pit mixed female, went walking right out into traffic in front of us with a leash tied around her. And thankfully everybody stopped, and they let her cross the road, and then they went on, and I pulled up into the parking lot to a bank there, and that's where this dog was walking, and I called to her, and she stopped and let me come up to her. And I found that this dog was beaten, abused, attacked. She had an open wound on her shoulder, an open wound in her armpit. She had a big scar right behind her ear, other scars on her head, and like teeth marks you could see where she'd been attacked by other dogs. And she clearly had puppies not too long ago. I think it was probably based on how like the size of her nipples, I'd say it was probably just about long enough for them to physically be able to be away from the mom. And some piece of shit, rotten fucking scumbag beat this dog and probably tried to turn it into a fighting dog. Forced her to have puppies when she still looks like a puppy herself. I mean, I don't think she's more than a year to 2 years old. Well, I don't think she's 2 years. The doc said if he had to guess, he'd say 1 to 2 years. But she's probably pretty young. And that she still looks like a puppy. And some fucking piece of shit was beating her, abusing her, treating her like shit, letting other dogs attack her, probably trying to make her into a fighting dog, forced her to have babies while she's still just a baby herself, and then took her babies away from her, and then tied a rope really tightly around her neck and dumped her. And as fucked up as it is to say, that's the exact same circumstances that Jackie had. Only I didn't find Jackie where she was dumped at. Somebody else found her. Took her to the Humane Society, and that's when I ended up finding her like 2 days after they brought her. Well, I know that was where there was a gas station right on the Illinois-Indiana state line. Like just inside of Indiana, there's a BP gas station on Route 30, which is a fucking busy-ass road. And that's where they told me that someone had found her. Well, I didn't know I wondered if maybe the people that brought her, maybe it was their dog, and they just said that, and so I didn't have to pay to drop her off. No, she was really dumped there, because when I got her, anytime we go somewhere, and I would get out of the car for a second, like a gas station, I mean, I wouldn't go in places where I couldn't see her, just usually the gas station, And anytime we went to a gas station, you could see her getting upset. Anytime we went to any BP at all, any BP, she would get more upset, like noticeably more upset than she was if, we went to another gas station. And I kept telling her for months and months, I said, listen, one day we're going back there. I want you to face your fear and to know that you're okay and I'm not going to leave you. So after about 8.5 months, I took Jackie back to that gas station. I may have told the story in the past, but probably was a long time ago. So as we pulled into the parking lot, she went fucking ballistic. She went nuts, dude. She started barking at me, whimpering and whining and barking and looking, just couldn't sit still, was freaking out. I got out of the truck. I pulled up to a pump, got out of the truck with her going crazy, went in, paid for the gas, came out, and I'm sitting there pumping the gas, and she's just whining and crying and barking and going fucking nuts. And finally, when I got back in the truck, she dove into my lap and started licking my face because she finally knew for sure that I was not going to leave her. And from that point forward, that was it. She was fine. I get out at the gas station, she'd just sit up and look around. Didn't matter where we went to. Even that gas station made no difference, although we hardly ever went back to that gas station. Very rarely. Because I just wanted her to face that fear. But we did go back there at least 1 or 2 other times, and she was fine. So, this dog, I swear, it's like the moment I saw her, I already knew. I was like, dude, I already know that God and Jackie put this dog right in my path for a reason. 3 weeks almost to the hour that I lost Jackie. And it fucking still hurts because it's like I would never want Jackie to think I was replacing her. And I don't feel like I had nearly enough time to properly grieve, mourn and grieve over Jackie and losing her. And I still do, trust me, it still fucking hurts terribly. And I feel like a piece of shit for having another dog already. But I know the one thing that made me be able to go through with it, one, was knowing that God and Jackie put this dog in my path for a reason. And 2, she had the same exact circumstances, a female pit mix just like Jackie. Same fucking exact circumstances, except I think Jackie, whoever had her, was just a piece of shit to her. I don't think they're trying to make her into a fighting dog. She had no scars or cuts or anything like that. But this dog, they were clearly, that's what the vet told me too. He said most likely she was a bait dog, or they're trying to get her fighting and turn her into a hateful dog, and she wouldn't give. So that just goes to show you, people think that pits, even like pits that fight, like they don't do it because they enjoy fighting. When pits are doing it, like if somebody were to take you and starve you for days and days, and then put you in a room with another person who's been starving for days and put a meal on the floor and tell you, neither one, nobody's coming out until one of you's dead, what the fuck would you do? Just sit there and let the other person kill you? I highly doubt it. They do it because they have to. They don't have a fucking choice in the matter. They don't go sign up for fucking fighting. They're forced into a fucked up life like that, and that's what's wrong with people. And they're thinking these dogs are evil. They're not. They're forced into a really horrible situation, and people would do the exact same fucking thing if they were put in that situation. It's either that or they die. One of the two. And, the fucking piece of shit Michael Vick, who was fighting dogs, had his own dog fighting ring, had his own dogs that he was using for fighting. And I read an article that was the very first time when they had seized a bunch of dogs that were used for fighting, that they did not just destroy them immediately. They actually adopted out those dogs. One of them, I think, was so damaged so badly that they couldn't adopt it out because it had too many health problems. And I don't remember what happened to that one. I think whoever seized him kept it, him or her, and tried to, nurse it back to life or something. But all the rest of the dogs, all the rest of Mike Vick's fighting dogs, they were adopted out to families that had children, little children. And those dogs did fucking amazing with these kids. No aggression, no bullshit, no nothing. So, I'm not sure why is it some people feel the way they do about pits, but that's what, initially led me to get a pit, is because so many people don't like them. Because, if you've watched any of my videos, I like to go against the grain anyways. But, this here's Ripley. You can tell she still looks like a puppy. She doesn't even look full grown yet. So this is Ripley. I had struggled finding a name because Jackie, that was the easiest one. It still took me like 4 days to come up with her name, but once I was looking through a list of female names, I saw Jackie and I was like, Jackie Brown. Perfect. And it suited her perfectly. Perfect name. I love the movie, love the character. And so with her, I was thinking about it. It took like fucking probably almost 2 weeks to come up with a name, and finally I was like, dude, Ripley. from the fucking Alien series. I'm like, that's another chick who went through all kinds of fucking hell and came out on the other side. Had to go through all kinds of bad shit. Was a tough chick. Well, that suits her pretty well. So this is Ripley. Give me a second. This is her. As you can see, she's got a big scar right there on her ear. Tooth mark. There's another tooth mark, I think, on her head. Hold on, babe. Do me a favor. Roll over a little bit. Hold on, baby. Babe. Roll over a second. Roll over, babe. Roll over. Hold on. Stay put for a minute. This was an open wound, and it went so far through, it literally looked like this went all the way through the layer of skin. As you can see it healing all the way around, and you can almost see muscle under there. It was disgusting. You see there's teeth marks on her, little nicks and chips. This is another open wound that looked really bad, and we put some triple antibiotic cream on it, like the vet told me. I was using hydrocortisone cream, but he told me to use the triple antibiotic instead. See, more marks. And I did, and it was like the next day, it was like halfway healed already. So, but this is poor Ripley. Hey, can you say hi? Come here, babe. Come here. And she just cannot, she can't seem to get close enough to me. I swear, she always has to be right with me. And she wants to, hold on. She's always climbing up on me. And when I started taking her to my mom's house in the mornings, like I was doing with Jackie, at first she was scared that I was going to leave her, and she'd come sit by the door, and I had to convince her, hey, it's okay, I'll be back for you after work, but you have to stay here because I need somebody to watch you, because she likes to chew stuff. And she's chewed a few things, but thank God she didn't swallow any of it, because I already had enough vet issues with Jackie. I said, doggy, please don't put me through that shit. Please do not put either one of us through that, because that would be a terrible surgery. So gotta keep her at my mom's house, and then every time, now she's okay with staying, because now she knows I'm coming back. It's been a couple weeks, but dude, when I walk through the door, she's like, ah! I have to hurry up and run to the carpet, because she comes up and tries jumping on me on the slippery wood floor, and dude, she's falling all over the place. She fell and banged her chin on the floor. One day she literally did a flip and landed on her back. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, dude. And then, so she gets kind of crazy on the wood floor, and I'm trying to keep her from getting hurt. So I go back to the carpet, and she just lunges at me with kisses, dude. She's punched me in the nose with her nose, trying to dive in and give me a kiss. It's pretty funny. But you could tell, when I brought her home, she was just laid there looking sad in the car. We got home that first night, she did the same thing. Laid there looking terribly sad. And I know, whether other people do or not, I know it's because she missed her puppies. She's missing her puppies. She missed her babies. Jackie missed her babies. The whole time I had her, she always missed her babies. Always thought about them. And I can only hope and pray that somehow, some way, they end up in wonderful homes. And maybe the police raid these people's house or whatever. As long as somebody find them and take them. I hope to God and I pray that they end up in a wonderful home. And same with Jackie's babies. But sorry. And I was just thinking about it, and it's seeing how God has worked in my life, my entire life, I would actually be shocked if somehow, some way, this girl right here, if I would be astounded if she was not somehow related to Jackie. There's no way of proving it. I don't know. I just like to look at it that way. It helps having another dog already be a little easier on me. But I would seriously be astounded if this wasn't like one of Jackie's granddogs, great-granddogs, great-great-granddogs, or what have you. I would be fucking shocked if she wasn't. Because I know how God does, and anyhow, that's just my thoughts on it. But she's a wonderful dog. Her and the cat. When I first came home, the first day when I brought her home, Daisy went right up to her and smelled her, kind of went on and did her own thing. And then for the next 4 or 5 days, she was fucking livid. She was hissing at me, hissing at her, making this growling noise, dude. She was fucking not having it, dude, because she was looking at her like, you are not my mama. Who the fuck are you? And then pissed at me like, who the fuck did you bring home? That is not my mama. And I explained to Daisy about Jackie, and I told her what happened, and 3 weeks went by before we found her, and she saw every time I came home, it was like she's sitting there waiting to see her, and she wasn't with me. And then finally I got Daisy, and I explained to her, I said, listen, don't be mad at her. She's had a terrible, terrible life so far. She has never had a good life. And it's the first chance that she's had to have a good home. I'm like, I said, besides, I'm not replacing your mama. I said, this dog, like Jackie was like my kid. I said, this dog's like my new kid. And I said, so that would make her your aunt and you'd be her niece. So I'm not replacing your mama, okay? If I shit you not, from that day forward, Daisy not only has been fine, but has become very, very good friends with her. Daisy will now, like when Jackie was here, Daisy would jump up here and sit on the couch. She'd jump up here for like a few minutes at a time, sit with us, sit by Jackie, and I'd pet her, and then she'd take off after like no more than 5 minutes. And she only did it ever so often. Since we brought Ripley home, she is on this couch all the time, dude. All the time. She jumps up here multiple times every time I sit down here, and will actually sit here with us for, I mean, one day she was up here for like almost an hour laying here with us. Fell asleep. That's never happened before. She is waiting in the window again. Every time we come home, Daisy's, you can hear her banging her head against the glass because she flies up in the window like wham and starts rubbing her head up on the glass as she sees us coming up to the top of the stairs. And then when we open the door, she dips down and runs over here and waits. And she sits here and says hi to her just like she did with Jackie, sniffing her, rubbing up on her. And then when Ripley goes by, just like she did with Jackie, she'd follow right alongside her and like be rubbing her head up on her and shit while they're walking over. And yeah, it's pretty wild, dude. All I had to do was just explain to her that I'm not replacing her mom, and because Daisy adopted Jackie as her mom immediately. Daisy was only 8 weeks old, and I mean, she just immediately adopted Jackie as her mom, and Jackie adopted her as her baby, you know. And you can see that it hurts her too that Jackie's gone. You can see it in her eyes, especially that first couple weeks when I kept coming home by myself. You could tell. But anyhow, that's my surprise. So I'll have a link in the video that'll bypass all this if nobody cares to hear it, because this is longer than I expected it to be. So, the Benchmade knives. One of the things, let's see, 17, all right. So one of the things that really attracted me, let me write this down real fast so my dumbass don't forget when the time was. What time to put in the link. So one of the things that attracted me to Benchmade knives over other knives, other companies, you know, is the Life Sharp service, the Yours for Life service they have, and they have from what I hear, they have a good warranty. Thankfully, I haven't had to use that yet, but you can buy a knife. You can buy it new. You can buy it secondhand, third hand. You can buy it off the internet. It doesn't matter. So long as it is a real Benchmade, you can send it in to them. You go on their website and you click the Life Sharp. You fill out what knife you got, fill out a few questions, give them a brief little explanation, send it in. It's free. The only thing it costs you is shipping to them. And I use UPS because the mail service in the town I work in is not the best at all. And so I've been using UPS, and so it cost me $15. I've sent 3 of them in already, and I've been waiting for them to all come back to do this video. Just got the last one back here recently. So I sent them in. All 3 of them took about 2 weeks from the time I shipped them to the time I got them back. 2.5 weeks, somewhere in there, and they did a fantastic job. The Band-Aid on my finger is because one of them, the last one I got back, I opened it up as soon as I got it, looked at it, and when I went to close it, somehow it slipped, and it just filleted the side of my finger, just sliced back a fucking chunk of my finger, and there was blood all over the place. I couldn't believe how much, just all over the floor, all over me, everywhere, and it took over an hour for my finger to stop bleeding. So I'd say they did a good job. So, all right, let's get into this. All right, so I have 2 of the Presidio 2 knives. This one is the satin manual Presidio 2, and it has the CF Elite scales, which are like this texturized. You can see the little bumps on it. It's almost like a really hard rubber kind of. So, I mean, it feels kind of like plastic, but it feels more like a really hard rubber to me. And this shit's pretty durable because I've had it in my pocket, the same pocket with my keys, and I got, you know, either one set of keys or 2 set of keys sometimes. Sometimes the truck keys for my work truck as well. I got my brass knuckles in the same pocket, and you can't find a fucking mark on these handles anywhere. I've looked all over them. just the other day I checked again, and you can't find a mark anywhere on this thing. Which normally, if I would put this one that's got the aluminum scales in there, you can see the texture's a little different on it. It's just got the grooves, whereas this one has the grooves, and the grooves themselves have a groove, and it's got the dots on it. But this knife is fucking amazing. These two knives are seriously probably they're definitely up at the top of my favorites list with the Benchmade knives. These things are beautiful, and they feel very overbuilt. You know, I would say this kind of would be more similar to an Adamas, like a mini Adamas or Adamas, than a Bug Out by far. I mean, these things are super, super solid knives, very sharp, and they feel overbuilt. I mean, the grips even, they feel nice and durable and solid. And my partner at work one day, he asked for if he could borrow my knife, and he was like, "Damn, this is a pretty large, solid fucking knife, dude." Yep. I wasn't sure, but I wanted a work knife, so this is the first one I bought because I wanted to get a decent work knife. It's about $200 plus, you know, tax, shipping, and so forth. And nice and smooth, beautiful. And this thing, it almost has like a light coating. Like, it doesn't look like a true satin. It's almost got like a very, very, very light, like some type of coating. When you look at it in the sunlight, you're probably gonna see it on here. When you look at it in the sunlight, you can see it almost looks like it has some kind of coating. And every time I've seen marks on here from cutting stuff, if I just rub it off real good, it comes right off. So far, I have not had anything that's left a mark on the blade. A couple times I thought it did, but just, you know, rub it real good, it comes right off. That's the manual. This is the automatic. Although for an automatic, especially for the fucking cost, it's like $350 before tax, shipping, and all that. This thing might not seem like it on camera, but it's really pretty slow coming out of the gate, man. I'm kind of disappointed in that. That's one thing, about the only thing that I'm disappointed in. But I gotta admit, I love this fucking knife. I absolutely love it. And because of how much it was, I think this one I'm probably gonna keep nice. At some point I may use it, but I just want to keep it nice. So when I first got it, if you pull that lock down and just hold it, I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear the difference in the sound or not, but listen to this. And when you just hold it down, see how it's got that metal hitting metal? Well, I found that if you do it just right, like you kind of like I'd have to do with this in order to, because if I do that with this and hold it down, you hear it's got that. But if I let go, if I pull it down just enough to get the blade started and then let go before it clicks, you'll hear it click into place. See there? Or you hear how it's clicking? It's almost like, see, it's got that sound. So I tried doing that with this one without the flinging part, because these things like to fly out of my hands sometimes when I fling them too hard. See, damn, almost cut my finger. Thank you, God, for making sure I caught that one. Good Lord, I swear I've dropped this a few times and I'm afraid of it breaking. Or not breaking, but getting scratched up. No, not that time. You'll hear it when I get it right. That was right. That was right. See, I've sat and done. I mean, I spent a couple weeks all day just playing with this, trying to get that just right to where almost every time I open it, it's gonna sound right. And it kind of makes up. See, that was the wrong way. This is holding it down. See, it's holding it down, but if you let go of it in time, see, and it kind of makes up for the lack of speed coming out of the gate. And I guess it's not really slow, but one of the fake ones I bought, it's a little, it's a stimulus or a mini stimulus. That thing is so fast, dude, that it just has spoiled me on knives. Let me show you. This is my favorite fake Benchmade of all. And this aluminum feels really good. Watch this fucker. It almost looks like an out the front. It's so fast. Even looking at it, you can barely see the blade swinging out. It literally looks like it's an out the front knife. This thing's fucking cool, man. This is like $20. I wish I had another one as a backup. I love that knife. That was actually my very first fake, and this is the very first fake Benchmade I bought. And that's what started the whole. And ended up spending a shit ton of money on real ones. So I also have 2 full-size claymores with the Grivery scales, and they got a coated blade. One's a drop point and one is a Tonto. So the black handle is a Tonto. And this one, I got this one from them directly. Same as the Presidios. I ordered those all off the website. This one I got from a coworker. That's the drop point. Now, this one, it was still decently sharp, but I sent it in. This is the last one I sent in. And this is the one I filleted my finger with. They did a fantastic job sharpening this fucker, dude. I mean, I'm gonna cut myself again here. Let's see if I can get. They did an amazing job. And they say on the website that they don't sharpen serrations, but they've had to, because the serrations on some of these were used ones were so dull, dude. And they are very sharp now. So even though it says they don't, I'm guessing they do if they can. I think it's just more of a disclaimer. But these are fantastic knives, dude. I fucking love these things. They're a push button. They got a lock on them. Clicks into place. I absolutely love these knives, dude. I don't know, I love these things. I wasn't a big fan of the drop point at first, but I went ahead and bought it anyways, and I'm glad I did, because this is a really nice knife, dude. This is a really nice knife. These are a little bit faster than the Presidio too. They're not super fast, but they're definitely faster. But this one I decided I'm going to use it along with the other one too. The other one was already a used knife, so I'm going to use them. Use both of them, like kind of rotate them in and out. I'm trying to see if I can get you can see a few little marks on the blade in the right light, but I haven't used it for a lot of shit yet, but you can see a little bit of marks on it. The next two are Griptilians, full size. This is one of my all-time favorite knives. I love the Griptilians. I like the sheep's foot and the drop point blade. I like the drop point more, but I do like the sheep's foot. So this one has aftermarket micarta scales. I got these off of eBay, and they looked amazing in the picture, but I was kind of pissed when I got them because they're all supposed to look like this, and it came with the ends of them being super dark, like somebody had been using them already. See that? That really pisses me off. I've tried cleaning them with Dawn soap, scrub the shit out of them. I'm going to try it one more time, but, dude, I was so pissed. I was so pissed when I saw that. They're like $100 for these fucking things. And, so these scales, these are the OD, which olive drab green. The drop point came with ones that look more like an army green. There's a slight difference in the color. You can see they look a little bit more army green, where these look like army green mixed with a little bit of brown. So these scales came on a sheep's foot. Well, once I put this in here, then I put the drop point blade in here because I like this color a little bit better. But these were both used. I sent these in for Life Sharp, and they came back very, very sharp. Nice. They clean them up, oil them up for you, make them nice. But I love this knife, dude. This is a Cerakote finish on it instead of like the other one has like a little bit more modern kind of a finish. But I think this one was made probably in like the 2010, so it's not like it's old or anything, but it's got this little BK up here behind the, or underneath the steel type. And some Milpardue. It's got a little bit of wear on it already. I haven't used it a whole lot because the Cerakote, it seems like it falls off a little easier than the other finish. I found with a lot of these too, you don't have to actually hold the axis lock to fling it out. You can just flip it open. They come out really easily without even touching the lock. I had no idea. See? I still use a lock sometimes anyways, not thinking about it, but I like this blade a lot too. Look at that edge on this thing, dude. Look at how nice that edge looks. And the serrations, man. They did a fantastic job. I'm going to try taking this apart and cleaning these scales one more time, but these things are kind of a pain in the ass to get put back together because of the whole pivot system. It's like a big cylinder with a flat side on it, so it only goes in one way, and then you screw the pivot screw in the other side. Now, it's a good idea, but the problem is, just like with cheap knives, if you tighten this too much, the blade doesn't want to fucking move. It's not, the idea is right. It's a good idea, but you have to have every one of them just loose enough to where it'll fling open. Otherwise, it just is real stiff in there. I don't know why they don't make the pivot housing, why they don't make this thing just like a millimeter or two longer. Get it just right per knife to where you can crank the fuck out of this nice and tight and it ain't gonna come off. And the blade has just enough room to open and have a drop shut on it. It has no blade play. So right now this one doesn't really have any blade play, just the tiniest little bit. But the problem is a lot of these end up having blade play. Like this one's got some blade play in it. I don't know if you really see it, but it has blade play. And it's like, dude, for the amount of fucking money these knives cost, you should be able to crank that fucker down and have no blade play and still have a nice smooth drop shut. If you get exactly the right length, because I didn't know how they did it to begin with. Once I saw the housing, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They just get it just a tiny bit longer. I'm talking like maybe even a half a millimeter. I don't know, a very tiny bit longer, just enough you'd be able to tighten it up, have perfect blade play, or have perfect drop shut, perfect action, and no blade play. But they don't. That's my one problem I have with them. Very much that they don't do that. But at the same time, all knives seems like pretty much all knives have blade play. At some point, depending on how tight the pivot screw is, and at least they do the life service. These two I bought used. No questions asked. They took them, sharpened them, sent them back. Same with this one. And I'm here to tell you, I love these things. They have a new customer for sure. And I've heard people that have had bad luck stories with them. Negative things have happened, which thankfully I have not had that happen. But if I had, I probably wouldn't be a customer. One more I got is I bought a bug out. Now, I was never too big a fan of the bug out anyways, but I got one because I wanted to make like a commemorative knife for Jackie. So I did a custom one, and I put Jackie's name and a cross on it. And that cross is the same one I got in my hand. So I put it on there, couldn't wait to get it. And when I felt this thing, I'm like, dude, this literally feels exactly like the fake one. They're the same exact. Now, I've seen people with ones that are different sizes. I don't know. These are exactly the same size. They feel the same. And I've seen some people take their bug out and they act like they're squeezing it. Like, look, see, there's no play in it. They're full of shit. Look. Let me try holding this still. But you can see that it does bend a little bit. It still feels pretty sturdy, don't get me wrong, but so does this one. Honestly, I will never buy another bug out ever again. I really want to... Damn, dude, see, I just keep dropping this shit. Thank God it's always on carpet. I really wanted a bug out with a Storm Gray, but after seeing how it literally feels almost identical to the fake one, I'm not spending over $200 on another one. And I'll never sell this one because it's, for Jack. I like the Crater Blue. I wanted Storm Gray the most, and every time I looked down there, they never had that as an option for some stupid fucking reason, which I don't know why in the world you don't offer every fucking color you make. That to me just seems dumb, especially when it's like one of the few colors they don't offer. They even have dark purple and like the Daybreak yellow and shit like the new ones, but they don't have Storm Gray on there. Then one night I went on there, and all of a sudden there was Storm Gray. They had a dark gray and they had Storm Gray. They do have a dark gray, but I can't tell what it's going to look like by like an animated looking fucking, trying to show you what it's going to look like. I can't really tell with that dark gray how dark it's going to actually be. I thought about going with it, but I'm like, nah, dude, I like the Crater Blue a lot, especially with everything all blacked out. All the screws, the pivot, even the liners, everything's all blacked out on it. And I even put one of these clips on it. So, I only had 2 screws, which sucks. Unlike everybody else who seem to love the fucking, this is one of my fake Claymores, or mini Claymores, but you see the deep carry clip, I hate these damn clips, because most of them don't curl back up enough on my new ones, and I have to like grab this and pull it out to get it out of my pocket. And then when I'm going to pull the knife out of my pocket, I'm grabbing the knife and I'm grabbing this, and I have to squeeze on the fucking clip that has to go over my pocket when I'm taking it back out. So I'm literally pushing down on the thing that I need to come up to get it out. So yeah, I don't care for those. I like the standard 3-hole clip because then you can grab up here, and when you grab these screws, it gives you something more to grab onto as well. So I've actually put that on every one of my knives. All the real ones at least. See, this one came with a deep carry clip, it ain't got it. This one came with a deep carry clip, does not have it. This one did too, but it don't got it. And this one too came with a deep carry, but as you see, none of them have it. So I just like the standard clip much better. And which I think I'm probably the only person that feels that way, but that's alright. Like I said, I like to go against the grain anyways. Yeah, see, you can use the lock to do that, or you could just sling it out. Gotta kind of give it like a little rotation. Hey, wake up, baby. So this dog there's been times where, like, last night, dude, she has nightmares for sure. And there's times, like last night, dude, she just started like gasping for air, making weird like whining noises and crying noises, and her eyes rolling back in her head. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So I hurried up and woke her up, and after that, she was good. But dude, that's fucking terrible. These fucking scumbags, these piece of shit motherfuckers treat any animal that way, dude. It's fucking disgusting. It's such a sweet, wonderful dog, just like with Jackie. That dog was amazing, and people treated her like fucking garbage. And left her at a gas station. And this poor girl, I don't know how long she was out. I mean, it could have been a day or two, or the fucking piece of shit scumbags might have been sitting over in the parking lot where she walked out into traffic. There was like a bunch of businesses in this parking lot. It was right up against a ditch. So she came from like back behind that building. So they might have been sitting there watching. I have no idea, but it's fucking disgusting that people do that shit to animals, dude. It is so fucking disturbing. And so the other night at my mom's house, we were cooking dinner, and we were cleaning up dinner. We were cleaning up after eating dinner, and there was an empty paper towel tube, the little thin cardboard, and she kept coming in the kitchen and kind of getting around my mom's feet. My mom has bad knees and uses a cane, and I don't want her to trip her, So I took the roll and was like, hey, I was gonna tap her on the butt with it, and she freaked out. She started she couldn't get traction. She fucking kept falling, trying to get traction, and ran the fuck into the living room. I'm like, wow, dude. Just from that, she was so fucking terrified. And I'm like, what the fuck did these fucking creatures do to her, man? My God, dude. It's fucking disturbing, man. Alright, we'll get more on that in a minute. Let's just get this knife part done. So yeah, as far as the reels and fakes go, this one, it doesn't sound quite as good, but the action, as you can see, is fucking nice, smooth action. A little bit of blade play on that one. No, not anymore. That one don't really have any blade play. So even the the grivery on these, it doesn't quite feel like the grivery on these. Maybe because it's thinner, I don't know, but they almost feel the same. I mean, you could just slightly see how this one has like a little bit more of a shine to it. That's about it. But I mean, literally, if I ever want another bug out, I'll just buy a fake one, because I'm not spending over $200 on another thin, tiny little plastic fucking folding knife, dude. That's crazy. But like I said, this one I do like. I like how it looks, but I mean, I still was not all that impressed with the knife itself. Like, it's thinner than I thought. Well, I don't know. I had the fake one, so I guess I didn't know what to expect, kind of. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand how it's such a huge selling knife and why so many people buy it, unless it's just, same reason everybody buys a 9mm Glock, just because everybody's doing it. That's about the only thing I can think of. So as far as, the fakes and the real ones go, this fake Claymore, this thing has to be a mini, I've come to realize. It didn't say that, I'm pretty sure, but like, you can tell there's a size difference for sure. See? Now the button looks different, and the lock I mean, it's just this little thin piece, it's just a little piece of plastic that just slides back and forth. It doesn't click. But I will say this, though. Whatever position you have it in, trying to shake it out of place, it does not move out of place. I will give it that. But you can easily bump it with your finger and move it up. So when it's off, you can accidentally like just catch it a little bit with your thumb, and then the knife don't want to open. But that does it with these too. My thumb seems to clip that enough sometimes where it'll catch. It'd be just enough where it's not all the way done, but the blade won't come out. But the mini claymores, they don't have a Tonto in the mini, and this is Tonto. I think they should fucking have mini Tontos, though. That would be badass. I don't know why the fuck they don't make those. But I have to say, though, now when comparing the two, there's no comparison. This feels like it feels like a cheap plastic, and this feels like a really nice durable plastic. But this thing is still pretty durable. I'm not gonna lie. This actually is pretty durable for a cheaper type plastic. It's pretty solid for but it's not as nice as the real grip ring. Now, the other day at work, I had this thing. It was closed. I had it sitting on my leg while I was putting my boots on at work. And it fell. It slipped off and fell and hit the concrete from about a 3-foot drop. And there was not a fucking mark anywhere on it. Not on the blade, anywhere on it, dude. So I have to say this grip is actually a little more durable than I thought. And that mark was already there. But I have to say this shit's pretty fucking durable. I wouldn't recommend dropping it on the ground, but thank God when it hit the ground, it didn't leave a mark. Because I was fucking for sure that it did, because I have this habit of dropping all my nice shit, guns, knives, all kind of nice stuff on hard pavement, concrete or asphalt. It happens a lot. Dropped this one in the bathroom as I was taking it out of my pocket. Fell and hit the fucking tile, and it went up the edge of the blade. So I had to sharpen that out. This one did have it still kind of has like the faintest of a little chip right there in the blade. But for $20 fucking dollars, I mean, for $20, this is absolutely a wonderful knife for $20. There is no two ways about it. For a $20 fucking knife, this thing is really nice for $20. I do not feel like I got ripped off on this at all. The only problem with when I got all the fake ones off of Wish, the only problem with Wish is half the time when I get order these knives, the box just stinks like mold really bad. I mean, it smells really bad like mold. Some are worse than others. Some would smell like mold, some wouldn't. I'd say more of them did not smell like mold than ones that did. But I mean, I probably had like 7 different boxes that were just fucking awful. The little cloth pouch you have, had to leave everything outside for like a couple months. I just finally checked last night, and some of them finally smell normal again. And there's one that just still smells so bad, I'm gonna have to throw it away. It hasn't gotten any better, and it's just fucking rank, dude. Why it is that they're sending you moldy ass shit, I have no idea, but I've stopped buying shit from them anyways because I've been buying real ones. But for $20, that is absolutely worth it. It might be a little bit more now, but that is absolutely worth it, dude. And that little chip in the blade, I can sharpen it out. I just haven't really done it yet because I don't really use it. But definitely nice. And the lock, like I said, it will stay in where it's supposed to, but it just is cheap. It doesn't click. It just slides back and forth. But for $20, this is a solid knife for $20. I still really like this thing. But yeah, it's nowhere near like a real mini Claymore. It feels way cheaper. Now, as far as the Osborne goes, I don't have a real Osborne yet to compare to, which at some point I'm going to get the green handle satin blade version. But I'm guessing, based on what I've seen with these other ones, that this one's probably pretty close. I have a feeling this is going to be a real close replica. It's probably going to be pretty fucking close. I went with the black blade. I don't think they make a green one with a black blade, except for the autos maybe. But I mean, it feels like aluminum. It feels nice. And this thing was razor sharp when I got it. Of course, playing with it, at the moment I don't have blade play because I tightened it out last night, but you can see it's still, mostly dropped shut. But this is not bad. I have a feeling that the real one's going to be pretty fucking close. The colors might be off. It's even got a backspacer that's purplish looking. But I like the Benchmade knives with the closed back. So the other one I have is the Stimulus I showed you. This thing's fucking amazing. I highly recommend these. These are like probably about $20 on there, right around that mark, and you can get them on sale sometimes. You got the lock on the side, and this thing, I literally just flies out of the gate, dude. It's a mini little one-sided dagger, and this thing's fucking cool as shit, dude. I love this thing. I do. This is by far my favorite fake. I usually keep this one with the real ones because I like it that much. It is just such a fucking cool knife. Like the Griptilians, I love how they have a closed back on them. Now, the aftermarket scales does not have a closed back. I'd like to find a nice black backspacer for this thing to where I can close it up myself. But I do like that. And then the Tontos, or the Claymores don't have the back closed up. The Presidios do not either. But anyhow, these are my real ones so far. And I love these things. You know, like I said, some of them are expensive. This thing was $350 before tax, shipping, anything else, dude. This is probably the most expensive knife I own. It's fucking ridiculous. But especially being as slow as it is, that fucker should just fly out of the gate with no problems, dude. This thing, I love this as a work knife. That's what I bought it for. And use it to, like, you know, most shit that I gotta cut, that's what I use. And it is a very, very dirty. That was like $200 before shipping and everything. This one was actually a pretty good fucking deal, man. I would say that's not too bad. $200. I mean, this literally costs the same as the bug out. Now I did a custom one, but still, it was like $235 with my customizations because I didn't get that much. I think let's see, the Blade Steel S30B, I think that was like $10 extra added on. And other than that, I don't think. Oh, and the writing and the print on the cross and the writing. But you know, it's still like $235, $245 something. So the regular ones are like $200 now. So it's not that far off. But this costs the same as a regular bug out does, and this thing is a super durable knife. And I do hear a lot of people talking about how it's a very underrated Benchmade, and I have to agree, it definitely is. But there are a lot of videos on it, so it's not like people don't give it any love. But it's not. I mean, these bug outs are talked about like they're just the holy grail of all knives, where this thing is just, and it would have to outperform it any day. This thing is a solid, beautiful knife. Claymores are fucking awesome, with the Grivery being extremely durable. This is the fiberglass reinforced nylon, and when you compare that to the fake mini, I do have a fake mini. I like this one a lot too. I do still like this one a lot. This is a very nice little knife. There we go. Damn it, phone, can you just focus for me? I really like this one a lot. This thing's super sharp, dude. Super sharp. And I have a full-size one that is like a Blade HQ exclusive replica where it's got the gray on the outside and it's got the blue liners and the open back on it. I have that one. That blade's like solid, thick blade. I actually have that one in my work bag. That thing is a fucking beast. For a fake knife, dude, we had some cars at our shop that were going to get sent to the fire department to get demoed to like use for like, you know, for an open house they did where they cut the cars open and show how they'd rescue people and so forth. And I took that fake one, the full size Blade HQ, you know, replica, and I went up to one of the tires and just said, and that tip it just punched right through that fucking tire like I was cutting through air, dude. Just right through. I just popped, dude. That was fucking cool. And the rush of air was so strong it almost blew the knife out of my hands. But I was like, no shit, dude. And I was always wondering if a knife like that could puncture a tire. Well, I hit it right in the sidewall. It can. It definitely can. I'd imagine most of these would, although I would not try it with this one. That might fuck up the blade. But otherwise, I mean, I would do it with this one. With this fake mini, I'd definitely try it with this one. It's got a nice, durable, hard blade, which is sharp as fuck, and just jab it in there. Guarantee it would bust. But yeah, for a fake, this one actually goes in my, I got this fucking, I feel kind of stupid even having it, but I got this little pocket fucking organizer so I can put shit in there. Everything ain't just all loose, jumbled up in a pile in my pocket. So I keep this one in here just because I like that one a lot too. But I got this flashlight off of Wish. This thing was like $3, dude. $3. Pen flashlight. And it's had a few little issues where I had to like stretch out the coil on it to make it not cut in and out on occasion, which it didn't start doing that until after a couple weeks. But stretched it out a little bit, put it back in. I barely got any problems with it. Sometimes it may cut in and out a little bit, but for the most part, for $3 fucking flashlight, this thing's badass. I wish I had more of them, but I wish I could find like a $20 version that's just, you know, even better. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I carry a lot of fucking bullshit in my pockets, and that kind of helps organize it. So that's about it for the knives. And Ripley. Yeah, ain't that right? Hey, you happy, dog? Is you happy, dog? She's like, I was sleeping, dude. Yeah, her and I are, you know, I lost my baby and she lost her babies. You know, even though she's still just a baby herself, I guess dogs can have, or dogs are capable of having puppies from anywhere from like 6 months to a year old, which I didn't know that before. I thought they have to at least be a few years old, but no, they don't always have to be. That doesn't mean every dog will be able to from 6 months to a year, but it is possible for sure. And she had to have been, because she doesn't, as you see, she does not look like she's even full grown. She's still got a puppy face. So, yeah. Both kind of going through the same shit. Anyhow, be good to your pets. They're a lot smarter than you think they are. I promise you that much. They're way smarter than what you think they are. And yeah, that's about it. I do plan on getting some more real ones, because there's a fucking whole bunch more that I like a lot. My next one that I'm gonna get eventually, I have to wait a little while until I paint out my Affirm, because I ranked that shit up kind of high. The Adira, the full size Adira. To me, the full size Adira, it has almost the exact same blade as this. It's very, very similar blades without serrations, and it's, you know, satin blade, but it looks very similar in its design. Type of, you know, it's a drop point as well, but it looks like to me it reminds me like a water griptilian, and I like that one a lot. So I've seen the videos, and I guess the full size is like a big fucking knife, and the mini is more like, you know, a normal size knife. But eventually I'm gonna have both of them, but I'm gonna start with the big one, and then there's a whole bunch of other shit I want to get. You know, Tonto Barrage. I want to get of course, now I'm trying to think of it. I can't come up with them. There's some used ones too. I want a mini Adamas, like an all blacked out mini Adamas to use, and then I want one of the shot shell ones with the dark purple micarta and the gray blade. I want one of those just to keep nice. I don't know. There's others. I just can't think of them. I want to get a new Reptilian with all blacked out, new one, and then a new mini one that's all blacked out. And when I do, I'll probably take the new, you know, the blade with the new coating and put it in these handles and these scales here, because the Cerakote finish just doesn't seem. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell the difference. This fucking won't even focus, anyways. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. This one's got more of like a matte finish to it, whereas this one's got a little bit more of a shinier finish. And it seems like the Cerakote just kind of comes off a little bit easier, you know. So I do plan on buying those at some point, and I don't know, there's other ones I can't think of at the moment. I still want to get the. I actually want to get the Dark Earth aluminum, or whatever they call it, with the gray blade, the auto. That one's like $375. At some point, I want to get that too, because I fucking love these. I want to get the old. I found original Presidios that are in, like, I found a couple of them that are brand new looking on eBay, on eBay. YouTube and eBay, they're mixing them together. But on eBay, I have found ones that look brand fucking new. Satin blade. The old style. And I'm like, dude, I'd like to get one of those too. But this is probably one of my favorite. This and the Griptilians are like my two favorite models altogether. There's more Gryptilians and more Presidios 1 and 2 that I want to get than any other knife. I swear to you, I had seen one though that had an all gray fiberglass, the FRN scales on it. It was just a solid gray, not the one with the the gray with the blue liners. It was just a solid gray, and it had a closed back on a full size. I swear I had seen those before, and I've looked back in like old screenshots that I took of these things. And I screenshot all the different shit I want to get. Couldn't find any. Looked online, could not find it, and I was starting to convince them, like, dude, man, I just imagine that or what? And then I finally found on eBay there is a mini with the gray, where it's closed up in the back. It's just solid gray with a blacked out blade. I'm like, dude, I fucking knew I seen it. So at some point I'd like to find one of each of those, full size and a mini one of those too. I really like the gray with the black. But I don't know, I'll probably end up getting other fucking variations of it. I don't know, I just can't. I love that fucking knife. Those two models are my absolute favorite fucking Benchmade, and two of my favorite knives ever. This particular, my favorite knife models, that is. Like I said, there's all different variations, so I do plan on getting a lot more, and at some point I'll do another video. Fuck, I've been putting this one off forever until I finally stopped buying new ones because I couldn't afford to get any more, and got everything sharpened, got everything in, and then finally found some time to do it. So I'm glad I almost didn't even do it this weekend. I was gonna do it yesterday and put it off, and finally said fuck it, sat down and got started on it. So anyhow, hope y'all are all doing perfect. Hope life is great. Say prayers for everybody every day, for all of y'all, your families, and for yourself, and for everyone. And I pray for everybody every day, because the world needs it, But you can never have too much prayer, ever. But anyhow, I've been had my hands full. First, I had 3 weeks of just being fucking completely miserable. Just fucking start crying out of nowhere. Be at work, just start tearing up. Still happens. It's just hasn't been as much, which I feel like I feel shitty about that. But then again, like I said, if I know Jackie well enough to know that she would be very disappointed in me if I would have taken her to a shelter. She already would have known I wouldn't just leave her. We've found dogs before and found them homes, but we've had a few different dogs that were house guests with us for a little while. One of them we took to shelter, and the other ones we got back to their family. But I know Jackie well enough to know that she would have been very disappointed in me if I just took her to a shelter. Especially, that's what it was, seeing that it was a female pit mix who just had babies that were taken away from her, and she was abused and abandoned. And it was like identical circumstances to Jackie. It's just I found her where she was abandoned as opposed to as opposed to finding her in a shelter, where someone else found her where she was abandoned and took her to the shelter. And I found her there. So a lot of people, when they rescue dog or they adopt a dog, they'll say they rescued a dog, and hey, that's perfect. That's cool. I admire that. Me personally, with Jackie, I was just said I adopted her because I didn't actually rescue her. Someone else rescued her from where she was abandoned and brought her there, and I just went and adopted her. And if I hadn't, somebody else, I'm sure would have. There was another family already interested in her, and thank God I got her first, because I don't know if they would have went that far. If they would have went as far with her as we did. But this dog, I can actually say I rescued this dog literally because I found her wandering around out in the fucking road in traffic, and had a rope tied really tightly around her neck, and I brought her home and gave her home. So this doggy we did rescue for sure. Ain't that right, baby? Come here, baby. Come here. Yeah, she has nightmares a lot. Quite often she'll go to sleep, she'll start freaking out in her sleep, and dude, what the fuck is wrong with people, man? Those aren't even fucking people. Those are just rotten scumbag creatures, dude. They're not people at all. I think people that fight dogs, anybody that's involved in dog fighting, whether it's just going and watching the bet on it, or being involved and not doing anything about it, or being the person actually running the shit, they're all equally guilty in my book. I would literally, if I were in charge, I would raid those people's homes and take those people and put them in a room. I'd take 2 people at a time and put them in a room First I'd go, a few days without letting him eat, drink any water, and then I put him in a room with another person who's doing the same shit, and I'd tell him, nobody's coming out of here until one of y'all is dead. Nobody is stepping out of this room until one of you motherfuckers is dead. And then when they killed each other, or when one person killed the other one, I would let them think that, okay, well, you won, so now you're going to be on your way. Come on, let's go upstairs here and process you out. Handcuff their hands behind their back and tell them, it's just safety precaution. You might be a little mad at us, so we got to make sure you stay handcuffed till we process you out of here. And take them up some stairs, and when they walk around the stairs, there'd be a fucking noose hanging there, and I'd hang their fucking ass right then and there. That's what should happen to people that fucking dog fight. In my opinion, that's what I would fucking do. And I wouldn't feel the least bit bad about it. I'm sure as a Christian, I know I should, but I wouldn't, dude. After seeing how scared she was of a fucking empty paper towel tube, and the fucking all the nightmares this dog has, I'd sit there, I would do it with a fucking smile. I'd fucking be the one personally responsible for dropping the trap out from under the person's foot, under that creature's fucking foot when it hangs them. And I'd sit there with a fucking smile on my face because that's what I think of these motherfuckers that do this shit. Anyhow, that was my little rant. So, hope everyone's having a blessed day, and y'all be safe, and I'll catch you next time.